Yeah. Hey, when we gonna put our song out?
It's time to tune in. We don't got the stats and the info. Rocking with Flem and be better than my kinfolk. We got everything you need and some more. Report live with the sports. It's time for Uproar, 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 Uproar,
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another show of Uproar Radio. As always, I'm your host, Reno Thompson, alongside Derek Fleming, aka I call him Mr. Flem himself. We have a great show tonight. We're going to discuss, as we talked about briefly earlier in this week, about the recent conversation that came up from the old article back in 2023 about Tennessee State playing in Nissan Stadium and fans worrying about will we ever get a chance to play back at home. So we went back and did some more research on this, and what we were able to find, some amendments to the contract that was signed there. But before we do anything else, what we first want to do is do us a favor. Please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button. Please stay tuned in with the boys. Give you all things TSU sports, from the gridiron to the hardwood floor to the diamonds out there on the softball fields, and obviously on that track and field, man. All thanks to TSU Big Blue. We love it here, man. But before we go any farther, Flem, checking in with you, man. How we doing on this lovely Thursday in Nashville? We had 80 degrees. I went and had lunch with a good colleague, and we enjoying this good 80-degree weather in Nashville, man. How we feeling?
Well, I was having a great day. I actually had a chance to. I had a great meeting today. The former general manager of the Tennessee Titans, Rand Carthon, and I had lunch today and hung out, man, and looked up, man. We spent about 2.5, 3 hours just speaking all things Nashville sports and things and families, and rushed home, and it was 80 degrees in the damn house. So we had to turn the AC on, man. This weather is driving us crazy in Nashville, man. We don't know what to turn on.
Oh my goodness.
Just been a great day, beautiful day, and excited to have a great show.
Good deal, man. So look here, man, folks. For folks tapping in again, we're going to break through, really break down on this, this new stadium information that we have, and we want to be very, very clear. Like I said, what we were able to get a hold of right now, we're still going to. We've made our formal request with the to go ahead and get the actual finalized copy of the actual signed agreement between the university and National Sports Authority or whatever. But what we do have is we were able to review the amendments, and we're going to talk through some of that stuff because that stuff rolled over, and those amendments were basically addressing the current status of the current Nissan Stadium, as well as rolling into some of the newer stuff that's going to happen with the new Nissan Stadium, Arena, that whole setup right there, man. So we'll make sure we're clear on that. But as always, like I said, man, this is going to have a good conversation on this, and I'll read out some more stuff here. For me, in plain English, what you're going to get right here from this stuff is, in the old world, TSU had a long-standing lease relationship for the existing stadium, and the agreement was built for an older site plan and older operation assumptions, right? So that's that. So in this new world, we got a new stadium, a new site plan, new parking commitments, change the business environment for everything. So we'll talk through some of those benefits that Tennessee State gets out of that as well too. Also, the amendment updates scheduling, money access, parking, and transition rules to TSU still, as it's being defined as well too, man. But it's some, as we get into this, man, there's going to be some unique things that I believe are some really, really good wins from the brand standpoint of all things TSU athletics, Tennessee State University, and ultimately TSU football as well there, man. So, Flem, let's really get into it, man. For me, I want to go off with just on this whole focus of, about this amendment, about this opportunity, about making sure that TSU wasn't left behind. And for me, when you go through the amendments, and I've had a chance to actually view the actual true contract that was signed by our university as well too on this. I got an inside source that allowed me to look at that as we're waiting for our official copy of it as well too. But yeah, man, I truly believe that this contract does not leave TSU behind. We gotta understand this, man. We get At the end of the day, this is our stadium, right? And as much as we as TSU supporters want to be on campus, this is our stadium. And the fact that we got a state of the art stadium, um, let's take advantage of it while we got it. And for me, that does not leave us behind. It that actually elevates us in so many ways, right there as well too. Also, for me, on this point of not being left behind, it's everything we get access to that there was so much unclarity on, right? From people just not knowing of the business of what this deal, the original deal even entailed, right? And even the amendments of it. So it's the parking, you know, full 100% on parking, full 100% on concessions, right? All of that stuff you get access to, man. We're going to get access to some other things on merchandise, but from that standpoint alone right there, um, you know, we're not stuck footing the bill of what it takes to really do this thing. I mean, there are some obviously there's some true details which I know you're going to highlight on from the concession side of stuff, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's no out of pocket cost that comes from our institution or the athletic department. So I think for the most part, this is it's still a great opportunity and it doesn't leave us behind.
Well, I mean, Reno. I mean, that's great. You always have a great take on trying to make a positive out of that. And I appreciate it. And yeah, not being left behind is that you got to kind of unpack that language, right? Meaning that at least we still got somewhere to play football. Is basically what you're saying, right? With the transition of the new Nissan Stadium, our inability as a university to come up with a site plan and a building or a campaign to develop our own stadium on campus, and now it's 2026. Basically what you're saying is that in 2027 we'll have somewhere to play, and in that aspect, yeah, we didn't get left behind. What's disappointing is that if you go back to 1997 when this contract was signed or this lease was signed, the
Mhm.
Titans came to the Tennessee State University because they needed our money, right? They needed the money that we had set aside for our own development and upgrade of the whole, right? They needed that 30 million, and they were able to coerce or negotiate a deal where they got ours and we got access to the stadium. So, that being said, you look back 2026, 29 years now, to me, you know, thank you for not leaving us behind, but how about you put something in place to push us forward is what people are really trying to get to, right? We stepped in for them, the Titans, the city, and when can somebody step in for us, right? It's pretty clear and apparent that our fan base does not like playing in Nissan Stadium. Okay. And that's just the sentiment. Yes, it's state of the art. Yes, it's clean, nice. But the resounding feeling of our fan base is that they don't want to play down there. Okay. And so this amendment, it covered the tail of the administration, which that conversation started in 2022, 2023. It gave them some things to continue to keep, the doors open or to keep a playing field because the hole was eventually condemned. But the thing is, people are really just kind of just tired of this conversation with the stadium. Who's going to be able to push us forward? And this new Nissan Stadium doesn't push us forward.
I don't see For me, I still see it differently, right?
Hmm.
And the reason why I see it differently is that we're having frustrations, rightfully so, about stuff that happened in '97, right? And it never evolved beyond that. And for me, it's just like, okay, we're in this space where right now, you know, at the end of the day, we didn't have much of a choice anyways. And at least in the situation we're in now with this new agreement, that there's some definitely great incentives for us to capitalize on. And for me, that capitalization is going to start with just, assuming that, we're able to be consistent consistently good on the football field, then from that point on, it's about us who support, coming involved to show up to the games, and like that's what it's about, right? And I like to believe that when Tennessee State is back playing consistently high level football, that the people will be in attendance on a consistent basis. But it's like we've honestly yet to prove that that concept or that thought process isn't correct, because you think about it, you have two really really great years in 98, 99, a solid year in 2000, and then it kind of teeters off, and then it picks back up around like 2006, back down in 2008, back up, then it fades back, right? And then you get 2013 season, and then it fades all the way back, then you get the 2023 season with Coach Eddie George, 24 season you win a conference, right? So it's just like, for me, I can't say that folks don't want to be down at Nissan Stadium, when at the end of the day, we've just not been a consistently good program for the greater part of this last 20 plus years, anyways, right? So I'm going to still lean on the side where um, we gotta just be good on the football field consistently, and then after we do that, then if people still say, "Yeah, I don't want to go downtown to play in a game, I want to be on campus," then it's like, okay, I'm willing to really listen to that. But until then, it's just like if your whole thing is just you want to be on campus, and I'm like, with how we're playing, are those people going to show up with how we've looked consistently over the last 20 years? We're looking at a 20-year window right now on this stuff. So are those people saying they're going to show up? I don't believe them. I think it's going to
Yeah,
still always come down to the product on the field. So for when people say that they hate going down there, I'm like, that's you can say you hate going down there because of I understand because of parking and because of cost of parking and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, the whole is what it is, and we got what we got. So it's like for me, we got to shift this thought process to be this is our stadium for now. Because at the end of the day, as you just highlighted, and others understand this to be, this stadium, the current one and the new one, doesn't happen without Tennessee State. You know, as a state institution, the state won't give us funding for a new stadium. Or the matter of fact, they won't not even say that they won't give us funding for revenue generating options right now, anyways. And again, that's a conversation and stuff for leadership at Tennessee State to work through and figure out. So I can only talk about control what I feel like we have ability to lean in on, which is right now. This is what we got, and it's a damn good situation from a playing standpoint, right? It's not the best one we want, but it's still pretty good. That gives our institution, our athletic institution, a chance to actually make some money, and not being forced to. Man, this costs us how much money just to open up the gate and all this other kind of stuff. So for me, I'm gonna be on the other side on that, man. Those folks who are frustrated about that, I challenge all those folks. How many of those folks are saying that are consistently going to TSU football games? That's why I would challenge those people.
yeah. To say that the product on the field is a direct reason why people don't come to games, I call bullshit. Um, it's too many different examples of programs that struggle that still have good support. And we talk a lot about other programs, but I could talk about Jackson State, and I talk about them a lot because they haven't been good the whole time the last 25 years. They just haven't. They got a run
Mhm.
going on now for the last 4 years. That's pretty good. But you look at them last 20 years before them 4 years, and they were an average program on the football field, but they consistently had 24,000 in the stands. So, being good on the football field doesn't equate all the time to people supporting the program. Then that to me, that's putting blame on the student athletes and the coaching staff, which I think is unfair. But what I can say is consistently we've struggled with our leadership and our resource and our promoting of our program. That's been consistent for 40 years, and we know that. We understand that.
Mhm.
And it's been multiple coaches and multiple players come through 3500 John A. Mary Boulevard and didn't have the resource and the support they needed to excel, and they suffered on the football field. So that being said, I would never say anything about the coaching, about the players, things of that nature, about a consistent program. I watched a story the other day by John Calipari, and John Calipari
Mhm.
was talking about the new landscape of college sports, and he
Yeah.
said coaches win games. He said administrations win championships,
Mhm.
quote unquote. That's John Calipari, one that recognized as one of the
Okay.
best coaches ever in collegiate sports. He says coaches win games, administrations win championships, and we have struggled the last 40 years with our administration. And this show today is talking about in 1997 when they decided to give away $30 million, and we're still reeling from that decision. So, you
Mhm.
know, the kids, the coaches, you've been out on that field. I've been out on that field. We know the challenges your coach had. We know the challenges Coach L.C. Cole had. We know the challenges that Coach Rod Reed has. We know currently the challenge that Coach Barlow has. Coach Barlow has a challenge right now. You know what I mean? And they're very similar to the ones that's been for the last 4 decades. So to
Mhm.
put it on a consistent program, a consistent product on the field as a reason why people don't come to games, I can't give you that one, Reno.
Again, it's if you say it's a blame, then I can't adjust how you or anybody else might see that. But to me, like that's where it's going to start. And now, am I not being I guess forthcoming of what challenges coaches deal with? Right. Okay. For instance, um, like I said, when Coach Rod Reed was there, he didn't have a full complement of all his scholarships each year to fill out his team all the time, right? Okay, that's an understanding, right? And that goes back towards, finding a way to do that to where he can get that done, But then again, as we start to look through the business of athletics, and for folks who are listening in on this or going to watch the playback later, you know, this is understood by people inside the athletic space that and Flem, and I know you agree with this on this because you know this well too. Football programs fund every last thing outside of men's and women's basketball, depending on how good that men's and women's basketball team is at that institution.
Mhm.
So on a top tier level, your SEC, Big Ten, Pac, ACC schools, football is going to fund every last sport, and they fund it to a T like they are a revenue generating sport, right? So which means most times all those other sports are operating in negative because they don't bring in any money, right? So with that being said, we're in a situation where now it's like, okay, the biggest thing we need to bring in some of those consistent things administratively that the programs need are just the ability to create revenue, generate revenue, right? So that is, in this current state, and that's why I'm looking at this contract. Well, where can we make this happen with what we got right now? Regardless of how we got to this point, I'm at a point where it's like, where are we right now? And how are we going to find a way to navigate this to where in the long term and the short term, ideally the short term, that we're able to, have those conversations where, our leadership on campus is like, okay, we're moving in a good direction. Okay, let's start this process to rebuild the whole. Whether we gotta phase it or total redo all in a 2-year span, however long it takes to rebuild stadiums now, depending on how big they are, how much money you spend, it takes X amount of years or whatever, right? Or it's just a year. So that's just where my head is. I'm like, I'm at that point, and I'm like, I'm about trying to do that. So again, if this comes off like I'm trying to I'm blaming the production of from a former player myself and coaches that I've had to play under and after me and before me, right? Like it's not meant to be that. It's just I'm just saying that when the product isn't good on the field, folks just don't show up. And my pushback to the Jackson State situation is, for me, that's Jackson, Mississippi. My dad's from Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi does not have all the stuff to compete with that Nashville has. They don't. They are more than likely the main attraction, the only attraction in that space. I don't know what else you come to see Jackson. What else you come to Jackson, Tennessee? Jackson, Mississippi for, anyways, right? Nashville has way more to offer, which is why it's even more important is to get out of the thought process of, man, we got this stadium. I'm mad about this stadium because I don't want to go down there. I want to be on campus, and I'll show up then. Because I'm like, if that's the case, then this what I'll challenge our fans to do, from especially those ones in that 300-mile radius. So that's Memphis, that's Birmingham, that's Atlanta, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Kentucky, all those places right there. I would challenge them, you know, write a what do they do? Sign a document saying, hey, if our leadership makes a commitment to rebuild a new stadium, then I'll make a commitment to make that drive. Like that would be my challenge then, because at the end of the day, we need butts in the seat regardless. We need butts in the seat regardless. So let me pause there.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point, Reno, and I wasn't accusing you of doing,
Yeah.
blaming it on, but at the same time, I mean, we have to recognize, that these challenges are self-inflicted, right? These challenges, it's tough when you have to get stuck with somebody's best, right? And their best is
Mhm.
not good enough for the situation. Okay, meaning, you know, our administration currently right now may only can raise $2 million, but we need 20. Okay, we need 20 million.
Mhm.
So do we have to stay stuck with only thing you can get is two, but we need 20? Or do we go out and get the proper things in place or the people in place to get to the 20? And so what
Mhm.
this stadium contract does and these amendments do is just keeps kicking the can down the road, in my view, of going down to the
Okay.
stadium, playing. Meanwhile, we're not having any type of capital campaigns, no fund, no capital fundraising campaigns. Hell, we had to go dig for this contract, this lease, right? So
Mhm.
when does the conversation start with the constituents and the alumni base about a plan of how we're going to satisfy? Like I like your idea where, okay, we got to play here for the next 3 years, okay,
Mhm.
but this is what we're trying to do, right? And share it. Okay. If we want to build a stadium, we had a conversation with engineering firm X, Y, and Z. And they told us in our current stat that the only way we can build a 10, 15, 20,000 capacity stadium is that we need 100 million.
Mhm.
Then that's going to set some people up, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it's going to make some people step up. But it
Yeah.
has to be shared, right? It has to be
Mhm.
not like, okay, we getting the concessions, we're getting parking. All right, we're getting merchandising. We need 10,000 people in the game every game this year. Okay, we got 2,000 parking lot spots that we can sell. Right. From what
Mhm.
I read in the contract, since we don't have any out of pocket cost to play in the stadium, it then says on the next line that basically anything from the concession, parking, and things of that nature will cover the cost for playing. That's how I
Mhm.
read it. Now I might be
Okay.
wrong. I'll read it again. So that means to me, since we don't have any out of pocket costs, all the concessions, all the parking go into the pocket of the stadium
Yeah.
to a point.
That's not. Oh yeah. I need to. I wish I could pull it up
Hmm.
on here.
I mean,
I can't.
that's
Yeah,
how
but
I saw it for me.
yeah.
But I read it as, okay, you're not paying nothing out of your pocket, but
Uh huh.
any revenue from concessions and parking. Now I don't know about the merchandising, but
Yeah.
will cover the cost of the game day. That's how I read it, because it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense for them to give us the parking and concession, and we don't have to have cover any costs.
Mhm. I
No,
understood it
that's
as I understood it the opposite way. That yeah, like we get full parking, and whatever people pay for parking is what we get. Merchandise is 100% us on merchandise.
hmm
Um, they'll uh, there's two sides to it, because there's a side where Tennessee State can elect to do all the all the underfunding when it comes to merchandise for themselves, but they assume all loss. So if, you know, even number, if we order 500 hats and we only sell 15 hats, right? Then right now we got a large inventory of hats we got to sell, right? So you got that option, or you just got the option of what they create for us, and then they'll give us the revenue. I guess the what's after, where you got to pay people to work and all that kind of stuff. I think boom, we'll get that. But I got to go back and read that just to make sure. But that's the gist of what I got from a merchandise stance on that. But again, merchandise, there's no out of pocket cost on that unless we choose to do that. The other unique thing about that is, from a brand standpoint, is that in this new stadium, our university has the option to where they'll allow TSU gear paraphernalia to be sold at a Titans game. To me, this opens the door towards some really good cross marketing with them. I think in doing so, choosing the right game to have that stuff. I don't know if there's a wrong game, technically, because with Titans games, they're probably somewhere between, like, if it's a bad season for them, they're still looking at 40,000 people showing up to a game for the most part until it gets to the end of the season if they're still bad, right? But regardless, you still got enough eyes right there, watching your brand. You got enough people that come to Nashville and watch this game, and then they might buy some just because they see this is it's a unique piece because it's beyond just a professional football team. It's something else that some folks that come to Nashville and don't know about Tennessee State. So you got that opportunity there, man. So that's a real good plus right there from a branding standpoint. So for me, I still see this as, with this current deal that our university signed with National Sports Authority, that at the end of the day, what's most important is there's no upfront out of pocket cost for us. And then as we transition into this as well too, as we start talking about the ability to then get some monies, right? So provided that I know there's been great conversations with Dr. McAllen and President Dwayne Tucker and their cabinet of trying to figure out a way to have some makeshift version of some games on campus as early as this year. So it's like, if you pull that off, again, per the the amendments, you're looking at $150,000 that they give back to the athletic program for more enhancements, right? So it's about figuring out the way to do that, and I know they're trying to knock that out. So hopefully that will satisfy some of those people to do that. And this is where Flem, and this is where my challenge is going to come back to all these people who say they don't want to go downtown Nashville for a game. If they find a way to get this thing on campus this year for a home game, I need every last one of y'all to come true on your word then. We're back on campus. All right? If you don't show up from that point on, you can't use that excuse. You can't use that excuse. So I'll be interested to see that and see what that looks like.
Well, that's the thing, right? Right. So, right. If they find a way to play a game on campus, then we want the full support of everybody who doesn't want to play in the stadium. But here's the kicker. It's going to be an OVC team. And so, if you look at the OVC, when we play OVC teams the last 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years, that attendance has been less than 3,000 people, man. It was people, it was less than 2,000 people for a couple of OVC games this year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the other piece of the puzzle. The Tennessee State football program and athletic situation is so complicated because there's multiple things that detract from people that claim why they're not coming to games. But the stadium is up in the top 3. But I think number 1 is the OVC conference. I think because we play in the OVC conference, I believe that's the number 1 detractor, especially the new OVC conference. When you had Jacksonville State, when you had Austin P, and you had those Murray State, those teams, there was a little bit of a rivalry there, so people will still come. But Lindenwood, that there's no buzz there. Charleston Southern, no buzz there. West Illinois, no buzz there. Tennessee Tech just left the conference. The game that they're trying to play on campus is against UT Martin. You know, so there goes the other piece of it. But that's why it goes back to what you say all the time, Reno, is that you don't care who the hell we play. You know what I mean? That's the thing. We don't care who the hell we play. We should have our ducks in alignment to have people show up and support. And then there's where I come in and talk about my favorite line. If that's what you're going to do, if you want to build a game day experience and a home field advantage, then you got to give the program back to the people. You have to give it back to them. You got to give them access. You got to make it seem like, that because everybody felt like Tennessee State was theirs growing up, right? Everybody felt a part of Tennessee State University. You all felt like that was your team, that was your school, that was your ball players. You felt like that, and that's been snatched away from many different reasons. But to hone in on this season and to hone in on this opportunity, we're going to have to all of us are going to have to come together and build a home game experience, a home field advantage. We got several schools that can come up here and we saw what North Dakota State did last year. I mean, we got a couple of schools that might do that this year. So we can't allow for us to let social media posting be our only marketing tool. We're gonna have to get on the ground, grassroots levels, ground levels, and really get out here and get people excited about this team and this season.
Oh yeah, man. Like that's what it is, man. And again, that's why I'm like I'm gonna rehash it, man. Just I had another conversation with one of my good teammates on this stuff as well, too, man. It's like at the end of the day, get out of this thought process of, you finally back on campus, but now you mad about who we playing. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
It comes with it though, like, Reno. You have to know. You have to know that is an issue. There are multiple issues of why people have a problem with Tennessee State's schedule and who they play. I mean, we going back to 1997 about this doggone stadium deal, right?
Yeah.
I talked to Coach Coles, both of them. My daddy was against this deal. Okay, it was a lot of Tennessee State people that were against the Titan deal. And who was the president at that time? Hefner. Who was the athletic director at that time? Gentry, right? And they decided to move forward and not listen to their constituents, right? So you move back 10 more years, 86, 85, 86, 87, when the deal was done to go into the Ohio Valley Conference. That was another situation where people stood against it, didn't want to do it. They did it anyway. So what I'm saying is the track record of fire hosing your fans and making them have to do things that they don't want to do. They don't want to play in the OVC, okay? They don't want to play downtown, okay? Just take your opinion or a survey. I mean, you've seen enough for the last 30 years to know that they don't want to do it. So then you come back, you make an amendment, you don't present it to the people, right? We just start hearing rumblings, right? Now we're passing by 65 and we see the new stadium. And people are asking, are we going to play in that stadium? We don't know for sure if we're going to play in the stadium. It's all in the presentation, Reno. It's the point.
Well, if people didn't know if we was gonna play in that stadium, then I'm sorry. I'm questioning their understanding of where we currently are. Yes. Yeah. We was always gonna play in the new stadium until further notice. We was always gonna play in that new stadium, right? So,
we
so for me, it's like,
that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I question the people's what are they paying attention to if they're questioning if we were gonna play in that new stadium or not, right? Like, come on, man. Like, you haven't heard anything. Trust me, because if a stadium rebuild was in the plans for Tennessee State, I promise you, when it's truly got concrete to it, it's gonna be let known. It will be, But I would say this: I'm at this point to where we got a situation with this amendment, and we got a shot because it gives us a real opportunity to make some money. And yes, we're about to ask, like
T-shirts and hats, you know.
to me, that number 10 on that wall over there, that number 10 on that wall,
Yeah,
10,000 is a number. The power of 10,
yeah.
it is, and is, from what we can do at Uproar Radio Show. I mean, that like that we gonna keep pushing towards that, man. I'm speaking this into existence. I'm of the belief that the product we saw on the football field last year, you're not going to see nowhere near that this year. And that's me understanding, knowing that from the timeline. Again, I'm going to rehash this real quick, and then we're going to get back into some of the other details on this. So we're going to check the chats because we got some people coming in on the chat line as
Oh
well
yeah.
too.
Oh, they
But
chatting.
but it's like, you got, understand this timeline. We go to the playoffs, lose to Montana. We had 30 seniors graduated. You had, of your remaining starters, you had key contributors all transferred out except for 3. Right? So you're now stuck in another rebuild. Boom, Eddie George leaves, takes the job at Bowling Green. He then
Right.
takes the final 3 people with
Right.
him to Bowling Green. So
Yep.
Barlow gets hired end of March. He's on staff, he's on payroll, and he got guys that's going to be on his staff that are technically not on payroll yet, but they're here because they got to help out, right?
Yep.
So at the time, you only have 4 coaches and like 40 players. Then you get into the summer workout sessions, right? You got some of those that was there in the springtime that wasn't there for summer workout sessions. And then you're still filling out your staff and you're working towards that. And the staff's not finalized until July, right? And then one of those staff members was coaching UFL. He comes from the UFL straight into this, no break, no adjustments. He wasn't a
Nope.
part of recruiting, nothing.
Nope.
So it's like everything that you needed to go wrong for a season went that way for us last year. So I'm knowing in the abilities of Coach Reggie Barlow and what he's doing. I'm also, as a person who's been out there at practice this week twice and seeing this relationship that Richard Dent is adding a value to the program. You're getting a lot of a standard of the history, and in the only way that somebody like him, Too Tall, I would say like a Dominique Rajkumar who played with me, I would say a Benny Anderson could give it that, a Leon Murray, Moon, Randy Fuller. There are certain people in these spaces that can really give that oomph, with it because they were that great here, right? And they can still give it to you as well too. So it's like he's adding that, and you're seeing it as well too. So for me, like that's where this whole thing is, and that's why I'm like, people listening and watching this show, I'm telling you right now, you better believe that this team is going to be much better this coming season. And at the end of the day, you can control only what you can control, which is you showing up. And for me as a former player, to all you all out there, I'm asking you right now, put aside your not liking of going to Nissan Stadium because it's not on campus. Put aside I don't want to see y'all play UT Martin or Charleston Southern or Lindenwood. Put that aside. The greater good, ultimately we're here for TSU football, right? That's what we're here for. So ultimately, if you're here for them, it should not matter. It should not matter. If you want those bargaining chips like you really want them to as fans, I'm asking you right now, I'm telling you right now, show up this fall and then watch how Dr. Mickey Allen, President Tucker, and that whole administrative staff, as they see that, you're going to start to see some of those things you want to change. You'll see it. But right now, they're just working with what they see in the stands, right? So that's just my challenge for you right there. Put that aside. Again, put all that stuff aside right now for that, and let's find a way to only focus on where we are right now and forget about what has we not liked for the past 30-some, 40-some years. Right now, we got a shot.
All right.
That's all we got a shot right now.
I'm sitting here looking at all these comments on IG, man, and man, hey, folks are very passionate about this. They're very passionate about it, and and Reno, your call to action, we get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I mean? Hypothetically speaking, yes, that's how it should be. But you have a fan base. You have a fan base that's been fire hosed for 30 plus years and they sick of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had somebody talk to them and tell them about that. They ain't letting up. Look at B, man. B didn't got fresh on us. You know what I mean? Ain't got fresh on us, but they ain't letting up. I mean, because they not letting up right now on it. I mean, just on IG. You know what I'm saying? With the comments.
I'm looking.
We got folks going
I'm looking
ham.
real quick. I'm looking at one right now. I'm looking at one on YouTube right now. We got this comes
I'm on IG, and then and we got folks going. We got folks.
They like Reno. We just come on, man. Listen to the people, man. Welcome.
Hear me? No.
On IG. Hey,
it's not about that. Hear me out.
They made me hop on. Flem. They made me get on, and
right.
What's up, everybody?
No.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
No. Hear me out on this, right? So this is not about. It's not about me not listening to them. I'm saying the reality is where we are right now. Okay, so if you're telling me you got love for Big Blue football, but you're willing to not support those student athletes because, as I'm reading some comments, they're talking about, well, we're in the OVC, we don't like the refs, it's an off-campus stadium, losing tailgating, game day experience, band doesn't play enough, parking traffic. Right. So hear me out. So all that stuff, right? So first, I'm gonna go through what we can control, right? We can't control. We can't control this conference right now, right? We're in the OVC. All right. You want out of the OVC?
They got to speak to it though, Reno. They got to speak to why we're choosing to stay in the OVC. You have to present that to your constituents. Just like you had to come and talk about why you signed this amendment. Okay? Because you ain't raised no money. That's why you signed the damn amendment. Okay? That's why you did it, because you didn't have nothing else. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. You got to stop thinking these people are foolish. They're not. They know why you signed. Because you didn't have nothing else.
As an institution, hear me out. As an institution, like we don't have money at all.
No, because of who leads our school, that's why we don't have money, Reno. Everybody else got money. Austin P got money.
Nashville.
Tennessee Tech got money. East Tennessee State got money. MTSU got money. Hell, NBA got money. Shit, Lipscomb got money. Come on, man. We don't have money because of the decisions that have been made by people who are leading us down the wrong road. That's why we don't have no damn money. Because everybody else in Nashville got money. Okay. The whole city of Nashville is recession proof. It was an article that came. I'm a fiduciary. I work with money. Okay? It was an article in the Tennessean that said, is Nashville recession proof? And you know what they said? Yes. You know why the BNA airport ain't got lines and traffic and people just flying out of here? Because it's Nashville. Because we are the city now. Mm-hmm. We ain't Houston. Yeah. We ain't Atlanta. We got our own stuff now. It's a $500 million development getting built on the freaking river, Reno. On the river.
The same one that flooded.
The same one that flooded the whole city.
Hold on. But what you're missing from me is this. What you're missing from me is this. Again, Flem, I'm not denying none of that stuff, right? What you're missing from me is this. I'm saying, however, right now, this is where we are. Okay.
We gotta come together, Reno.
We can only keep rehashing what mistakes, from the past. Like I'm not going to keep doing that because that gets me nowhere. To be fresh. I'm like, right now we got a situation where we're still in a situation where we can go out here and create revenue through football. We can still do that. We can still do that, right? It doesn't matter. However, it doesn't matter. You got what you got right now, so you got to make the best of it.
That's my question. What's the plan? What's the plan on us? Making money right now? Because from what I read,
again, if you're listening to the show, again. For the people, I'm gonna tell you, for the people listening in, you got all these opportunities for game day to make money through all those ways. You want me to listen again, right? So you got parking. You get 100% of parking. You get 100%.
We get 100% parking.
Yes, 100% of parking, 100% at the gate, 100% in concession, 100% in merchandise. It's all there. So now it's about going off and doing it. It's about going off and doing it, right? It's what it is. So folks can give me every demand that they want, right? To make somebody come back to the stadium. I'm telling you right now, I've never in my life seen a negotiation where you walk in and you're not doing anything currently right now, but you're going to raise demand saying, okay, I want all of this before I come. And I'm just like, you got to meet somebody halfway, right? So halfway for me is like, if they find a way to have some games on campus, show up. Show up. I don't care if we're playing UT Martin. Show up. You don't like you can't be that way. You gotta be willing to do something. And this is me, and that's why I'm saying, like, as a former player, I'm not gonna not support these guys because I don't like going downtown to the stadium or I don't like us playing UT Martin. I'm not gonna do that. That's not fair to those student athletes. So ultimately, we're here for them. Support them. So my question is,
whose job is it?
Your voice is heard. Hear me out. Your voice is only heard when you show up.
But whose job is it?
You show up and you're doing the work, your voice is heard.
You're putting all the power on the fans, and you telling us we need to show up, we need to buy shirts, we need to buy hats, we need to buy pom-poms, we need to buy jerseys, we need to pay the park, we need to pay the tailgate, we need to make sure we there. We got to do all this and get the money and spend the bread, hard-earned money in 2026. You feel me? And give it to the same people that done mismanaged it. You telling me that's
that's where we are.
But I'm saying
I'm saying meet halfway.
But that's what I'm saying.
Meet halfway.
So that's not meeting halfway. You got Reno. That's not meeting halfway. That's now. Listen, guys. This is what they telling us. All right, fans.
So what's halfway then?
Hold up.
Tell me what's halfway.
Hold up. You telling us to show up and do all this stuff, and that's us meeting where have they meeting us halfway? Where they have meeting us halfway yet? Well, we getting back from this because the money going to the same people, like you said. And the same track record of, like you said, we can't keep talking about the past. What has changed to make the average fan comfortable spending $300 a weekend, bro?
This is why, because now you know
our demographic that's gonna go straight to us. I'm with it. I pay my $300, parking, hotel. We getting hotels. I ain't see that on the contract.
It ain't $300.
No.
Again, we got to use real pricing.
I'm not saying
use real pricing. Use real pricing.
Add it up, bro. Parking, concessions, gas
for 4 people.
You gotta pay. Come on, man. That thing add up for a family.
If you have 4 people, if you take 4 people to a game, a family,
4 tickets.
Okay, the average ticket is around $40 to $50.
And them same people take their hind part down in them Titans games when the Titans are losing and spend more than
games, that, bro. The Tennessee State fans are not in. We got a few fans that's able to do it, but our demographic.
I know plenty of TSU fans that go to Titans game. I can count 15 TSU fans on my hand that go to Titans game.
You don't know enough to make no real money for us. All the people that would go to Titans game been had them tickets for 30, 20 years. Them season tickets been sold out. Them PSLs been sold out.
That's all I'm saying, man.
You ain't answering the question. No, you.
What's the question one more time? Because you're breaking up. You're breaking up. Go ahead.
Where do we get the security of knowing like I got to spend $300 this weekend 5 times a year? Why? What makes me comfortable doing that? Why should I be comfortable doing that?
Because what else we got? And like I said, I'm operating off the assumption that you know what,
this football team
is going to give me the football team is going to give me a good product, right? I'm going to believe they're going to give me a good product. They're going to perform better. Right. And then I believe from that point on, it's my duty.
Where's the pressure on
It's my duty to support.
Now we're going to support, but where's the pressure on the people that's running the show?
The pressure is on them because the pressure will be on them once they see the pressure is going to be on them. That's what I'm saying. That's how I see. I see the pressure going to be on them because they're like, okay,
what type
people
of
are showing up
see?
because the more people show up. and the more they truly voice their thoughts,
where are they voicing their
I
thoughts
believe
at?
that's when it's heard. But if all you're doing is being, if you're going to be frustrated and you voice your thoughts through social media, they're not seeing and listening to that. They're just not.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they. Yeah, they.
I don't believe that. I don't believe they listen to that stuff. I think
they are.
I think he has to go. Somebody has to send it to him.
Too. I think because so y'all are not on TSU Family Uncut. I am. I've been on there for a long time, and they got a thing called the Screenshot Ministry, right? And it was a joke, right? They were taking screenshots and sending it to Dr. Glover and her crew. You know what I'm saying? So Mickey Allen is part of that crew, and the athletic department is part of that crew. They're watching us, and they know because we've had enough viewership and enough interest to demand that type of of interest, because we're talking what people are talking about. But it's what you're saying is right, Reno. What you're saying is right. Okay, holistically it is. This just ain't right with this specific situation, because there's been decades of this same behavior, and a lot of that behavior is coming from the same people. I've rarely seen the people who make a problem have the ability to come fix it. I rarely see that. You know what I'm saying? That's like an anomaly, right? That if you made the problem, it's hard for you to fix it. Here's the problem, Reno. Here's the problem. Now that we're doing our research on this Nissan Stadium, and this all came from that article that came out, that start recirculated, and we started having a conversation. So now we're doing our own
Instagram comments.
Yeah. So now we're doing our own deep dive, right? And we're starting. Then we found this amendment, right? Then we found an article from 2023. You know what I mean? And we're starting to just break down. And then the current situation of where we are, like you're saying, Reno, where we currently are. It's great to be able to sell T-shirts. It's great to be able to sell hats. I'm reading the parking not the way you're reading it. We're going to have it straightened out. But here is it. At the end of the day, us playing in the new Nissan Stadium is not going to move us forward. It's just not. It's just a new spot for us to have empty venue, because you're not addressing the true issue. The true issue with Tennessee State football and the athletic department right now is two things. Number one, playing in the OVC and having to play that schedule 6, 7, 8, 8 teams out of the OVC. And these are new teams. These are new teams, okay? These ain't the old blue bloods, you know what I'm saying? We used to have folks, the MTSUs, the West Kentuckys, and those were decent games. But when people see Lindenwood, bro, that ain't moving the needle. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna move the needle. So that's one issue that has to be discussed, and a plan has to be put in place, and talk about what we're going to do about that.
But that
number two,
go ahead.
Us playing in the new Nissan Stadium, and how does the president now currently have $100 million campaign that came out and have a new stadium on the bullet point. So how does the new stadium that now we know we're going to play in, right? And are we going to be building a new stadium on our campus while we're still having a lease agreement year to year? And how long, and what's the plan? We just need to know what's going to be the move. Playing a new Nissan ain't moving us forward. Okay, that ain't gonna go across well. Okay, and if you've already seen, if you have any social media platform and to see this comment, these people are going ham about the announcement, regardless of how old it is. But those two things right there, we got
to set it up. We got to get Dr. Mickey Allen on the show, man. Let's just sit down. Let's type it up. Hey, Mickey, come on the show. Let's talk to everybody. Mm-hmm. So we ain't got to do a press conference, Reno. We let Reno, you run the interview. You get your bullet points, president versus AD, y'all. And then now everybody can feel like everybody's heard. The problem is people are not understanding, like, it take collaboration and cooperation to work together. Mm-hmm. Right? When we not working together by doing secret deals or doing stuff and it just coming out, it makes the trust be broken.
Yep.
But if we can be taught, hey, listen, this is what we plan. I'm not saying we going to war and negotiating war plan. No, we trying to figure out what's going on so we can raise this money so each alumni chapter can go back to the alumni and feel confident about asking for donations because we all on the same page.
Yep.
If we can set it up,
Come on, Reno.
I hit them up like, Mick, hey, let's. The people.
This is what I'm trying to say.
It is not a slight, Dr. Mickey. It's not a slight to you.
Yeah.
Not a slight to nobody. We all big blue, and we trying to figure out how to get you the stuff you need because we can't be, helping out if we don't know the direction we going in. You want us? Come on, man. Coaches, you got Chiefs and Indians, man. Right now, we not the Chiefs. We the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to hold it down, but the Chief got to let us know which way we going. And if he, if president, new president, AD, they the two chiefs right now. They in charge of the brand.
Yep.
They in charge of the big blue brand. Yep. And if we walk everywhere, look, come on, man. TSU back there, wherever I go, I wear the brand. You wear the brand. You wear the brand. We can't wear the brand if everybody looking at us like.
This is where I am. All right.
You can't keep calling Veen. You can't keep calling Dominique. You can't keep calling Rob and letting them because they held it down. Dominique represented TSU. Veen represented TSU. Rob they represented on the national stage.
Yep.
And now, what's going? Like, come on, who's next?
Again, I agree. Like I said, it's definitely an easier sell, right? That hey, y'all, we're going to be in Nissan Stadium, but these are our plans to rebuild the whole. All right, that is true. That is true. I'm not going to deny that.
They ever going to rebuild
but what I'm getting, but what I'm
it's
getting at
like
is,
a secret contract.
but what I'm getting, hold on. What I'm getting at right now is that, the folks who are frustrated about being the OVC, it costs money to get out of the OVC. You just don't get to leave.
How much?
You don't get to leave. So it's like, again, to get out of there, you gotta be making money. So that's why I'm like, y'all want to get out? Y'all want to have that buying power? Show up.
But isn't this something that we could take to the Board of Regents show them? Because don't they owe us some billions of dollars, right?
At some point, this is what I'm saying about it. Like, no, hear me out on this. As an institution, this is where we are, right? Y'all realize towards the end of 2025, they had to go to the state to get some more money just to make payroll again.
But
this is just where we are. So that's the fact. That's a fact. So the stuff that you all are wanting, that people wanting them to do, like leave the OVC or you want them to just go out there and start rebuilding the whole. We don't have money. So the only way to do this is to get people into the stadium. Once we get people into the stadium, Dr. Allen and his staff, President Tuck, everybody else, they can then go out there and start actually selling the program to these businesses. One thing that I know for a very fact, no. One thing I know for a very fact, no, listen. The very thing that I know for a fact right now is that I know that we've had people who've went and marketed Tennessee State on behalf of them. They were paid people to go market over the past 20-some years. Two different people have went to go do it. And every company came back and said, well, I can't justify giving you a 6-figure check and you only got 4,000 people, 3,000 people at a game. So it's like we got to get butts in the seat some kind of way.
That's why
we got to get butts in the seat some kind of way. So I'm saying for the greater good, I'm asking people for the greater good to put your disgust aside of because we play in the OVC or because we got to go downtown. To the best of your ability, I'm asking you to show up. Meet that number beyond this, especially this year, beyond the Jackson State game and the homecoming game, right? John Mary Class homecoming. Beyond those, show up. Because guess what? What happened last year when we played against Alabama A&M? It was way more Alabama A&M fans at that game. North Carolina A&T had way more fans than us. You see what I'm saying? So you play a black school, and you still don't even outnumber them. So it's like you don't get to use because you're in the OVC. All right? You're finding stuff because you're frustrated about it. Like, this is where we are right now. And this is the only pathway forward. It is. It's the only pathway forward. What I'm saying is this. From what we can control is fandom. That's it. Only thing we can control is showing up. And once we show up, that gives us bargaining, buying power, support with the decision makers. At the end of the day, it's their decision, right? So what I'm saying is this: show up, give it a chance, especially if we find a way to play a game on campus this year. For all those people that got that frustration, if they figure out a way to make it nice, safe, looks good, it's on you, because this is your shot. This will be your shot to show up.
You know, right? I heard this speech from.
Your shot. I don't care if it is. I don't care if it is UT Martin. It'll be your shot to show up.
You know who I heard this speech from back in the day, Reno? President Melvin Johnson. My freshman year came in and he told us, "Listen, guys, right now we don't have a stadium, but if you guys win some games and you guys get some people in the stands, I could go back and we could." I heard the speech 06, August, and I look back and I hear you, and remember, I'm on your side. We trying to get people there, get them to the game. I've been selling, let's get there. But it's got to be workarounds, bro. It's got I don't feel bad going to the Tennessee board or governor or whatever, asking for money that they owe us. Yeah, put a plan together. Just like when they had to put that money together for the Titan Stadium to get built. That's not all. The Titans not paying for that. We paying for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to
okay. So again,
money,
so this is what I'll say then. This is what I'll say.
Hold up. Y'all owe us the money.
This is what I'll say as we get ready. As we get ready.
Put that money in the stadium. Put it in the hole, and then it'll make the money back. Take the investment. Invest in our university, just like they invest in Vandy. Vandy got a brand new stadium. Just like Austin Peay got a brand new stadium.
They got donors. They got donors. They're in a conference that makes
the state owe us over $2 billion, bro. We got donors too. They holding our money.
No. You cannot use what the state owes us, because guess what?
Not?
We cannot use we can't use those funds for revenue generating opportunities anyway. So it doesn't matter. I don't understand why we don't. I just know that that's the rule according to the state in those funds. Those funds are not to be used for revenue. So that means we can't. That means we can't build. That means we can't build dorms. We can't build dorms with those monies. We can't build anything we can't build anything on campus with that money that's going to generate revenue. We just can't. That's the rule of the state. I don't make the rule. All I can say is this. This is where we are, right? So we got two options. All right? We got two options. Option one, you show up and support, or option two, you continuously still don't show up, and then we just hope that somebody wins the Mega Million, the Powerball, or someone decides to bless Tennessee State with a phenomenal gift. Those are the only options. So it's like you choose which one you want.
So let me hold on about it. So Reno. So you're telling me that the president, Mr. Tucker, and Dr. Allen, our athletic director, can't get sponsors because we don't have enough people in the seats? That's what you're telling me? Because that's what I heard. That's what I'm hearing. That you said that you're telling me.
I'm telling you.
Hold on.
Listen. No. I have not spoken to them on this. I don't know. I'm telling you, as a person who studies sports marketing, I know for a fact that if you try to sell a product to a person, that's like this show right here, right? That's like me going out here and I'm trying to get a sponsor for our show, right? And if all we're doing is every time we go live, right now we're averaging we've averaged 11 viewers on this from the YouTube version of this. I see 11 viewers, right? So if all we do is having 11 viewers, how am I supposed to go to a company and say, hey, I want you to be the title sponsor for my show? Oh, and title sponsorship is $30,000, but only got 11 viewers.
All right,
it don't make sense. So it's not about what they can't sell. It's about they're expecting eyes to be in the stadium. They're expecting eyes to be on the show. So if no one's watching, you can't make it make sense, and you can't make that a fault of said AD and president. That's what I'm saying. You can't make it a fault of them.
How is that not the fault?
Right. Wait a minute. Hold on.
We do a good job. Everybody working. We try and do the
because
show.
Again, this has been a long time. This has been inconsistent for a long time. This ain't just don't start now.
That's how your job is. When we work, bro. If we didn't have enough views by a certain 15-minute, 20-minute mark, when we got back to that production meeting, It wasn't all because nobody. Why? It's because we ain't do a good job.
Now, come on now. Now we finna start talking. That's it.
It ain't
no,
nobody showed
y'all
up.
missing.
We
Y'all
got no viewers in the stand. It's because we ain't put it.
You're missing what I'm saying.
You're missing what I'm saying.
Right. So hold on.
Look, in this first A block, it might not have been enough interest to carry viewers to the B block. So next week when we do the show, guess what?
There you go.
We got to try something else different.
There you go.
You can't just say, well, they got to show up and then.
So if you're telling me that because there ain't enough people in the stands, they can't set up and market Tennessee State University.
That's what he said.
Hold on.
Then it's even more of a tragedy and a felony that they don't promote and market the program better. They have all the tools. They could be on every radio show. They could be on every radio station. They could be on TV. They can do commercials. They have 42,000 alumni fan base that they never market to when it comes to football games, unless it's a classic. Matter of fact, let me tell. Hold on, brother. The best marketing they did was when we was going to DC, okay, and we were getting messages from the Alumni Association about a takeover in DC, and we were playing a home game the same week. They was talking about a game a year that was going to be a year away, and they promoted a Howard game in DC, our own Alumni Association.
Yeah.
Promoted that game in DC than they've ever promoted than any game they've done in damn Nashville. So we've been sitting right here watching foolishness the whole time, right? So you trying to tell me they put more weight on things that has pageantry than things that will be helpful in moving the university forward. If you trying to tell me if the president and the AD came out and said we can't market, we can't get sponsorships because none of y'all Negroes won't show up to the game on Saturday, then why won't they just say it? Just say it. Say we can't move forward because y'all butts won't show up. Okay? And we can't play Jackson State every Saturday. And we can't go to DC every year. Okay? Then say it. That's all we're saying. Just say it. If that's what's keeping you from reaching your
Flem, so this is what I'll say. You are correct in that on how we get certain pushes on certain games. You are correct on that, and I'm not going to deny that. So I got to agree with that on that front right there. I'm just getting to the point to where I'm like, I just know where we are, and my head is like, if right now this is the only pathway I see towards some success is saying, okay, hey, you all, if you truly do believe in the program, and if you are ultimately first about the student athlete, the players, then I'm asking you to do this then. Find a way to get past what you don't like about being in Nissan Stadium to come to the game. That's what I'm asking you to do. That's all. I'm just asking you to look past that. And when you're looking past that, as you show up, I then want you to, reach out where you got to talk to the head of alumni relations, Debbie Howard. If you got to email her, if you got to reach out to the 80s office, the president, whatever it is, like, hey, I'm consistently here. I'm just what I'm saying. I'm like, I'll even say this: show up, but show up with proof and saying, you know what, I do want to see something that lets us know that we are aggressively trying to get back on campus because we understand it's just that much easier, which they know it is. Trust me, they're trying to find a way, but it's just like, get them to say that. That's all I'm saying. So I'm like, I'm with you on that. I think we're all saying the same things, and I believe that I'm just in a mindset where I can't keep looking back at the stuff that bothers folks from when you say the refs, I'm like, come on, man. Come on. That is what it is, man. Like, we can't control that. And I don't think the refereeing is going to be necessarily better for us if we played in the all-black conference anyways. I think refs are just what they are. It's vantage points, Are there blown calls? There are always blown calls, but I can tell you right now, I've seen situations where we played good, clean ball, and the whistle was in our favor. The flags were in our favor. So it's just like, that comes down to a discipline. There's a lot in football that comes down to your discipline to the details of protecting your team towards a penalty. There is a lot of that. Now, are there always a couple calls where you're like, oh man, yes, there's always that. But most times it comes down to you being a player. You just made the mistake, okay? And they saw it. So that's where we are.
I think the issue is, my bad, Reno, just last one, man. I think the issue is everybody sees what could be done and it's not getting done.
Come on.
I think that's the issue.
Yep.
I think that we all see it. Of course, we got to show up. Of course, we got to be there. But why am I still, when we talk about media presence, we already talked about that a few times. Why are we not up there with the top media team, bro? We got the whole performing arts building. We got, millions of dollars worth of equipment. We got cameras. We got students. Why are we not telling those stories? Why are we not promoting the team? Why we don't have a series? Why we don't have an Amazon show? If Jackson State could get an Amazon show, why we can't get we got a Hall of Famer coaching spring practice right now. Why ain't nobody recording that and sending it to the NFL? Ain't no more Hall of Famers coaching. Mm-hmm. Why is none of that stuff going on? I think that's where the issue be, because it's like, why would I support a program that's just gonna waste my money?
And then the other thing is, and people don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, but since we didn't already got loose today, it's hard to go into private equities, to private investment. And when people look up Tennessee State University, they look at the most notable alums, right? And you see Oprah Winfrey. And then the next question is going to come for that VC, that private equity firm, that private investment.
Why didn't Oprah give y'all no money? She got more money than me. That's what they gonna say. Yeah. Y'all can't get no money from Oprah. Didn't she go there?
A question we just don't have the answer to, man. We just don't have the answer to. So, yeah. I got my thoughts, but I'm not gonna speak my thoughts on that because I don't know what has not happened. So I'm not gonna speak my thoughts on what I don't know.
The president need to go talk to Oprah.
I mean, Dr. Glover was able to have Oprah in the hole.
And then they let her walk out. They ain't sit down with no bullet points. Me and Reno talked about this before. They ain't sit down and make it a meeting. That should have been a pitch. When you know you going into places, bro, I'm telling you. When you know that you're going to the Super Bowl this week and I'm going to meet some people, but I'm not going just to go hang out. I need to be prepared just in case I meet Bezos. I meet Elon Musk. I don't know who I'm gonna meet, but I need to be ready when I meet them to have my ideas and my bullet points ready so that they like it, they can hop on it. Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
If we're not ready when Oprah show up on campus, then that ultimately falls back to being unprepared, and proper preparations prevent piss poor performance. And we've been getting piss poor perform because we're not properly prepared. And that's the frustration from people out of town like me. You gotta book a flight, you gotta book a hotel, you gotta book a rental car just to come to the game. And then I'm not mad at the product of the field. I understand what happened this year with Coach Barlow. I think Coach Barlow a great coach. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about all the extra stuff I had to do. And then I get there, it don't feel like a TSU game.
Yeah. Well, like I said, look, here we are, man. We got to shut this thing down. We're gonna leave it right here, but more to come from this subject matter, man. This is it's been good. Ultimately, we all want the same thing. I see a comment there where someone said a house divided, is a hard thing to pull off. It is. It's that we can get past that. We can get past that. And
not if we really divide it, though. You can't. If it's division, that's what I'm saying.
As I said, we're closing out. We'll keep this thing going. We'll keep the conversation going on this, man. But it's more to come. This is good starter on this topic right here, man. It is my focus as I close this out it's about where we are right now. And yes, we as fans have to make a commitment. And then, yes, true, on the operations side, on the university side, they should start to make a commitment as well, too, towards figuring out a way of making what most people want to happen because they want it to happen. They've said they want it to happen too. So it's in there. It's not hiding it. It's just, it comes down to the bottom line is the money, and we got to figure out a way what that is to get to that point, right? And regardless of if that's private donors, if that's us supporting, at the end of the day, some point in time, you're going to have to show up as a supporter.
No,
So,
we need a product, bro. You got to sell a
that's where we are on
product.
that. That's Uproar Radio Show. We are out. We'll catch y'all next week on
We need
it.
to sell some Tiger ice cream or something, man. Come on, man. We need some Tiger Pops. We got to sell to make. Bro, you can't make no money without a product. Come on, man. T-shirt. We need the Tiger juice.